Okay, sorry for the delay and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the third night of WomanFest Ghana. My name is Elizabeth Johnson, and tonight we will be talking about self-defense, learning why it is important as a woman or a young girl in Ghana to have self-defense skills. And towards the end of the conversation, we'll be getting a few tips we can take home with us. So I am happy to welcome my guest, Kezia. Please correct me if I get the surname wrong. So Kezia Bejek, is that correct? Yes, okay. So welcome, Kezia. I'll just read out your bio and also that of the curator, and then we can start the conversation. And so Kezia is a Ghana Taekwondo national team athlete, and she's ranked number 11 in Africa and 93 in the world. She's a Taekwondo instructor and fitness instructor, and also a personal trainer, and she has been teaching for the past 5 years. She has a second degree black belt, and for her educational background, she has a Bachelor of Technology in Science, Laboratory Technology from the Accra Technical Institute just recently. So welcome, Kezia. And this particular event was curated by Boring Talkative. The founder is Farida Yusuf, and it was important for her that we have something like this during WomanFest because she is a staunch believer in women being able to protect themselves wherever they find themselves. And so we thank her. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us because the time difference doesn't allow her. And so I hope that I do this conversation justice. So Kezia, I would like to hear your voice now. I feel like I've been talking for a while. How are you doing this evening? Oh, I think you're muted. So kindly unmute.
Okay, I'm good.
Thank you for joining us. It was quite short notice, but then we were able to have you on, and so we are really grateful for you joining us. But when I read your bio, I mean, I was really curious to know why Taekwondo. Why are you interested in, Taekwondo, and how did you get up the ranks so fast? So if you can just tell us a bit about yourself and how you got yourself into learning Taekwondo and becoming a trainer.
Okay, thank you very much. I didn't plan to do Taekwondo. I actually play volleyball. So when I went to the university, that's Accra Technical University, it was time for games. That is, by then it was Polytechnic Games. So they needed ladies to take part in the Taekwondo competition. So I decided to try. So my first day at training, the coach saw me and was like, oh, you are very good. If you keep training, you'll be good. So he took me because most ladies don't want to do Taekwondo. They see martial arts as men's game. And that is what we are battling with in Ghana. Even in the national team, we don't have a full set of women. So he said, I'll be good. And when you have some kind of motivation, you are pushed to do more. So even in school, he comes for me and take me to his personal gym to train me. So I got interested, so much interested because I have all the support I needed. And my teammates were also good. So I decided to progress and then take it on as a career.
It's really interesting how you found yourself in Taekwondo and now you're on the national team. And I'm happy that you actually mentioned that we don't have enough women practicing the Taekwondo sport. What do you think is the reason for that?
Okay, so first of all, I think there is no much education on why women need to be part of, to learn martial arts or self-defense. So that is one. And also I would say mindset. The mindset of Ghanaians it's like a martial arts because it involves fighting. It's for men, and as a lady, it's not good to be fighting or be doing stuff like that. So first of all, the mindset. Second, there's no much education on it to encourage women that they can also get involved and do better in it.
This is really interesting stuff that you are saying. And so over the years that you have been practicing Taekwondo, is there anything that it has you have realized while learning the sport and actually teaching women and training people? Is there anything that you have realized and why it is important for anybody at all to have some basic skill in Taekwondo?
Okay, so one thing that I would say I've learned and I'm so happy about is self-confidence. Learning martial arts and Taekwondo gives you a lot of confidence. And when you have confidence, I think basically you are good to go in everything you do. Because anytime I'm moving out, I know in case of anything, I can do something. So with that alone, with my self-confidence, I go, it also gives me freedom. I go anywhere I want to go at any time because in case something happened, at least I can do something and I know what to do at a particular time. So the most important thing is it has given me self-confidence, which I'm really happy about, and I'll be glad every woman will have that confidence level, and then we are good to go.
Thank you so much for everything you've said so far. And I saw a few people just joined. So I'd just like to remind that this is a conversation about the importance of Taekwondo skills, self-defense skills, as a survival skill in Ghana for women. And we are with Kezia Agbeje. She is a professional Taekwondo. Do you play? Is it right to say Taekwondo player or practitioner? Which one is the correct?
I think practitioner will be the best.
Okay, so she's a professional Taekwondo practitioner. She's actually on the national team. And for the past few years, she's been training people personally and recently picked up teaching women some self-defense skills so that we have safety wherever we find ourselves. So I'd like to ask you, Kezia, why did you decide to teach young women some survival skills, self-defense skills, so that they are able to defend themselves if they find themselves in trouble?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me say, naturally, men are stronger than women. And because of that, they see us to be weak. And most times we are the people that are being attacked because men see us to be weak and more vulnerable to attack. So most of the time it's women and kids that are being attacked because they see us to be the weakest. So the reason why I chose to train young women and women is to give them the confidence and the strength. Because since we are the people that are being attacked the most, we need to get stronger and face those people. So that's the reason why I choose to train women and kids in self-defense and Taekwondo.
And is there anything that you heard from the ladies you were training? Any interesting story or comment that they made while you were training them to have these simple, basic self-defense skills? Yeah, did you?
Okay, a lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so a lot. Most of them tells me the reason why they want to learn self-defense is they get on the bus and the men try to touch them, and because they know they can't do anything, they end up, they end up leaving it. And most of the time, they find themselves at workplaces, they are being harassed and they can't say anything. So most of them come to me to learn something they can do to them so that they will stop. So somebody gave an example, like she went to her boyfriend's place and he wanted to have an affair with her, and she wasn't in the mood. You know, anything you do that is not consensual is an attack. So he raped her, and she went to the police station to report, and they are like, why is the person is your boyfriend? So why would you report the person? You know, and at the end, even the police officers wants to also have their way. So somebody like this has found herself in between two people. Yes. So at the end, she wants now, because she went to the police couldn't help her. So now she have come to me to learn self-defense skills so that she can defend herself the next time, because nobody is there to help her.
Wow. Wow, this is very this is very shocking, and I don't know. I mean, it's very shocking to hear that someone was raped and she couldn't get help. Not only could she not get help, the police people who were supposed to protect her wanted to have their way with her, and I find it very, very shocking. It shows us how vulnerable.
I think the network is bad.
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, I think everyone else can hear me. So I think that the network issue might be from Kezia's end. Let me just try one more time. Kezia, can you hear me? I think she has dropped off. Okay, so I think we're having a little issue with Kezia's line, technology doing its thing. But while we wait for Kezia to join us, if you have any comments or experience you'd like to share, please feel free to leave them in the comment section and we can also discuss. I think the story that Kezia was just telling us about a woman being raped by her boyfriend and being mocked in a way by the police, and then they going the extra mile of making advances at her is really, really shocking. And it just really exposes how vulnerable we are. I think the more of a victim you are, the more vulnerable you are in society as a woman. And I do not think that this is acceptable or right, but at least we can do something. And that is why the Boring Talkative and Kezia are training women to have self-defense skills. So if we will just give a few minutes for Kezia to join us, and then we can continue the conversation. While we wait, maybe I can update on programs that we have in the coming days. So the festival has been running since Tuesday, the 3rd of August, and it will end on the 7th of August. And tomorrow actually begins the physical activities, and we start at 4 p.m. with an exhibition, Crowns, Not Tiaras, and this is by Kukwa, the artist. And so you can pass by the library. All protocols will be observed to see the exhibition and hear the artist talk about the inspiration behind their work. We also have 2 film showings. These are documentaries, and one is about women's health, and then the other is about a group of women in the northern region who decided to take matters into their own hands, gather together and approach the chiefs to demand that child marriage is stopped. So there was a journalist who went there to cover the story, and she'll be joining us also for a short conversation after we watched a very short documentary. So that wraps it up for tomorrow. And then on Saturday, there are so many activities. We begin with a writing workshop, and then we have a conversation on changing the narrative through creativity. We have 3 amazing guests, Amma Van Danzig, Poetra Asantua, and Elizabeth Ifwa Sutherland. They will be joining us for this conversation at Lotard. So you can come to hear them speak and answer your questions. And then after that, we have other amazing events. So I see Kezia has joined us again. You can actually get updated on our events by following our Instagram page. And so let's just be patient as Kezia reconnects and we can continue the conversation.
Sorry.
No problem, it's fine, it happens. Okay. So while you were away, I was actually stressing on the fact that it's really sad how these things happen to young women and women in Ghana. And yeah. I made a point about how it's like when you become a victim, you are just more vulnerable to becoming a victim to anyone you come across of the opposite sex. And it's really sad. So people have a few comments, I'll just read them. So Mami Efua has something to say. She says, once a driver's mate smacked my butt as I was alighting at Atomic Junction. The other mates there saw it and started chuckling. I was so shocked that I almost cried. Wow, wow, things are happening. And for me, it's really funny how these things happen and it's almost become normal. And so you have a driver smacking a passenger's mate, a woman passenger's ass, butt, and then the others laugh. So it's funny. And in that, I can imagine I would also feel very embarrassed and don't know what to do. What are your thoughts on the way women are approached, and how men approach women in general? What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that there's something that has to change?
Yeah, it's because men think women are weak. That's why they do that. And if ladies involve themselves in more self-defense or martial arts classes, they will realize they don't have to do that, or they can't do that, because when they do that to women and women defend themselves back, they will realize we are no more weak. And secondly, I think men should be educated that women needs to be respected. So if they have this education and they realize women are also taking self-defense classes, I think those things will come to an end.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. So I agree that we need to have self-defense classes, but I really do think that something also has to change structurally with the mentality of how people approach women. So do you have anything to say about that? Because yes, self-defense skills is important, but sometimes no matter the skill you have, you can't defend yourself if you're alone. And there's a certain level of fear that you would have just entering every room. I can imagine that if I do have the skills, I would feel confident that yes, I can defend myself. But it also can get tiring that do I have to be on the alert to defend myself everywhere I go? So could you share some thoughts on if something must change mentally?
Yes, so with that one, I think parents are the best people to do that. In bringing up your children, especially the male child, you should make them understand that some things are wrong to do. So if you bring up your boy child this way, making them have respect for women, when they grow up, definitely they are not going to do that to women. So that's the first thing. How male child are brought up is very important. So to the parents, if we start from there, and then the media also have to educate the men on things that are not right. They shouldn't do it to women, because some things they do to women is abuse, and they can be sued for that, or can be arrested if they get reported. So all is down to education.
Thank you for those points. So there are a few questions that have come. Before I take the questions, let me just read a few comments. So Angela is saying, apologizing to Mami Efra about the experience of having the driver smack her. And then let me now go to the question. So there was a first question from Mama Ajwa, and she's asking, does Kezia offer group sessions? If so, when and where? So maybe you can just answer that now.
Okay, so with I have group sessions for kids, and then private session for kids and adults. It's private, one-on-one at your home or in the gym. The only adult class I have, private class I have, is with the boring talkative. So anytime they organize self-defense class for women, that's when I do the group session for adult women. Aside that, is one-on-one.
Thank you for that. There's another question here from Janet. I think this is a more general question, and she's asking, does clothing make that much of a difference? So I think her question is in relation to the way women dress, and that causes men to kind of want to approach them in suggestive ways. So the question is, does clothing make that much of a difference? It's either if you dress in what society believes is modestly, are you safer than if you are dressing in a more risky manner, as society would put it? So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so personally, I don't think dressing should be something that would allow a man to attack a woman, because they also dress any way they want to dress, and no one attacks them. So any way a woman would dress shouldn't be the basis for a man to attack her in any way. She have the right to wear anything she have to wear. So that shouldn't be a basis or for a man to attack a woman because of the way she's dressed.
I'd like to agree with you on that. And it really goes back to the point you were making about the mentality that needs to be changed. So I don't think, because if we don't get people educated on the ways to approach people if you want something from them, or trying to approach them, whether for any reason that you want to get to know them, if we don't change that basic understanding, today it is they are attacking the way women dress, tomorrow it could be something else. So I really do agree on that. There's a comment here from Mami Efo, and she is saying, I don't think clothing matters. Women in countries where their eyes are only visible still get assaulted. Nobody has a right over your body.
Yes.
That's a good comment. There's another comment on Instagram. I'm just taking it. We are live on Instagram as well, so I'm just taking a few comments. So Farida has joined us. So I want to say thank you, Farida, for putting this together for WomanFest Ghana. It's a very important addition. And so Nat is saying, it's really not my fault you sexualize my body. And that is a good comment. And she continues to say, check yourself. Yes. So the mentality needs to change. People need to act better. And then there's another comment from Farida, and she's saying, kids are being raped. Like, what would a kid wear for you to assault a kid? And that is also an important comment there. So I'd now like us to, we've talked a lot about I mean, we've spoken a little about the importance of having these skills. And you mentioned that it does boost confidence. We've also touched on why women are getting assaulted or are not feeling safe out there. So I'd like us to focus on the skill of having self-defense skills. First of all, let's define what are self-defense skills and why are they important?
Okay, so self-defense skills are skills you use to protect yourself in case of an attack physically. So I've spoken about the importance of self-defense. One is it boosts your confidence level. And if you have confidence, you are good in everything. Second, it improves your fitness. It improves your fitness because taking part in self-defense, it's fun and it's exercising. So you get to become strong. And also importance of self-defense is it reduces dependency because you don't always have to move around with somebody or a guy. You don't always have to go somewhere with a guy in the fear of you are going to be attacked. And then it reduces sexism, meaning when men realize that women are now defending themselves, it reduces the sexual crime against women, because they will now realize that now the people we are attacking them are now defending. So it reduces that crime. Yes, and then it gives you, it gives you discipline, because when you come to self-defense classes, you learn to be calm, you learn to be attentive. So it gives you that discipline, because when somebody attacks you, you need to be calm at the first instant to know what to do. Because if you rush, you are going to do something different. And imagine somebody attacking you and you are defending, but you are not defending the right way. The person comes back stronger at you. So when you remain calm, you know what to do at a particular time. So learning self-defense or martial arts gives you that discipline. Yes.
Thank you. These are very important points that you raised. So we've heard that it boosts confidence level, it boosts discipline, self-discipline. It also reduces crime rates, because when men realize that women can defend themselves, they would back off more or less. There's a question here. So how long does it take to be well trained in self-defense skills? I don't know if you heard the question. The question was, how long does it take to be well trained in self-defense skills?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hi, Kezia, can you hear me? Okay, so it seems that we are still having an issue with Kezia's internet, so I guess that she would drop off and then we would add her again. So I'll just take a comment from Akuyo, and she is saying, clothing does not matter. We never ask people who have been robbed if they locked their gate or their door. Yeah, that's a really good one from Akuyo, and I agree with that one. I think we all agree. I think clothing should be out of the question. I don't think that it's something that people should be targeting. They've targeted it for so long, and the more they do, the more it doesn't make sense, because like Farida mentioned on Instagram, that there are kids who are getting raped. And there was a comment also from Zoom that said that even women who dress to the point where you can only see their eyes are getting raped. And so the argument about how a woman dresses really does not stand. It's the mentality and also the fact that they can't control their emotions, unfortunately. And while we wait for Kezia to join us, one thing I'd like to just point out is that it's funny how many of these men who attack women sexually are amongst us. And for me, it's just scary how it could be your friend who has done it to a girl somewhere and you would never know, and you would think that he would never do that. I just find it very, sometimes very scary how it could be anybody that you know, any man that you know could be a criminal in that sense. And it's something that we really need to work towards. And yes, self-defense skills is very important, but I think it can only go a long way. There's something that has to be done when it comes to the men. I don't know if there are any men here with us tonight. If you have any comments about that, please do leave your comments, and would like to hear what you think. Because like I was saying earlier, you can have self-defense skills, but for me, I think it would get tiring for me where everywhere I go, I would have to be on the alert that, wow, this person might attack me and I need to, move. It can get tiring. I might as well not just go out. So how far can self-defense skills take you? We really need for the mentality that men have to also change. And yes, it's not all of them, but then those who are doing it are still in the majority. And so there's so much work to be done, because I know people will say, well, it's not all men, but every day, every hour, someone is getting attacked, someone is getting raped. We heard the story of how a lady was innocently leaving her taxi and then the taxi driver decided to smack her. But we heard a story that Kezia mentioned about how a lady was not in the mood to have sex with her boyfriend and he raped her, and she couldn't get help from anybody. Even the police tried to take advantage of her because they felt that she was very vulnerable. And so they are in the majority, and that needs to be put out there, and things must change. And so we hope that Kezia can rejoin us, but I'll read some comments that are still coming in. And Janet is saying, it's hard to prove the attacks happen. Is there any new idea on how to get the police on the victim's side? Wow, that's a big question. That is a big question. I wish we had a police officer here to answer that. A male police officer actually would have been great to answer that question. Are there any new ideas or tricks that we can learn as women to get the police on our side? Because it's scary. I have had personal experiences, not immediately, but a friend who got sexually attacked, and we went to the police station, and the policemen were laughing at us in our face that, oh, when your boyfriends annoy you, then you come back to us, just go and, pamper him, rub your hand on his head and everything will be fine. So, and if a policeman is telling you that, where else can you go? Because when you go to the hospital, they'll tell you that you need a police report before it can be proven that you were sexually assaulted or raped. So we need everybody on our side. And if the people who should be on our side are laughing at us or mocking us or telling us to go and be nicer to the men who are attacking us, I mean, what can we do? What can we really do? So let's hope that Kezia can join us. I really want her to give us some tips on how we can defend ourselves. It's really an important part of this conversation. But if you have anything to share, be you on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Zoom, please do share your thoughts and comments with us. And I see some guys here, so we'd really love to hear from you as well. What can we do as a collective to, cut down or actually stop men assaulting women? And what can men do, men who don't assault women, what can they do to get the masses to agree with them that it is not a good thing to casually wrap your fingers around, your hand around someone's back, even if she's your friend or whatever, that these things must stop. So please, 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 please feel free to leave your comments. I will not read your name, I'll just read your comments. So please feel free to leave your comments. we're really hoping that Kezia can join us and then we can continue this conversation. So we'll just give it a few minutes. Okay, there's a question here. Janet is still asking, is mace still legal or pepper spray? I think pepper spray is allowed. I think it is as legal. I don't think pepper spray can ever be illegal. And when it gets to that point, it means that we have a bigger problem on our hands. So you can have pepper spray with you as a tool for safety. I don't know about mace, so hopefully, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Akuyo could help us to know the things that are legal for women to hold. I'm putting you on the spot, sorry, but feel free to share your comments in the section, or you can actually unmute yourself and let us know if there are some legal or illegal things that women use for self-defense. So Kezia is joining us again and we can continue the conversation.
I'm so sorry. I think I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. So I was saying that don't worry about it. These things happen. Technology sometimes does its thing. So welcome back. While you are away, we were just discussing, the issues that we're talking about, and then there are a few questions. So there was one important question I would like to throw at you, and the question is, are mace still legal for women to hold as a self-defense tool? And what about pepper spray? Is pepper spray also legal and safe for women to hold as a self-defense tool?
Okay, about it being legal, I really don't know. I can't say yes or no. But I think it's something we all have to find out. In some countries, it's legal, but in Ghana, I don't really know. So yes.
Okay. So Akuyo, our lawyer, has answered that. She's saying pepper spray is very legal for you to have. So you can have pepper spray with you. We don't know about mace, but it's something we'll look into and then put on our social media once we find the answer. So I guess as we are talking about self-defense tools, maybe you can touch on a bit on certain little things that we have in our bags that can actually be a defense tool. And then you can talk about the skills that a woman can have to defend herself when she's caught up in trouble.
Okay, so thank you very much. So anything can be used as self-defense tool. Anything, your key, even your phone. Okay, so the best thing is to know the spot at which you have to use them. If you use your key or maybe your phone to hit someone on the arm, you've not done anything. Yes, you can still use that same phone to hit the truth and then it will have an effect. So I'll take this opportunity to educate us on some of the body parts that you can use to defend yourself and then use to attack. Okay, so let's start with the head. The vulnerable places you can attack is the eye. So yes, the eye, you can use your fingers straight to the person's eye. And Good. And one thing or one problem about women is we are so emotional. And anytime we are doing self-defense class, they're like, no, I can't put my hands in the eyes. But at that moment, you need to do it. Yes, because the person is really coming to hurt you. So you need to do it. Secondly, the nose. You can, yes, you can give a punch to the nose. And one thing also about one thing also about self-defense is not fighting. That is one thing. Yes, you don't stand to fight the person. You hit the spot, and if you get the chance, you run. Yes, because you let's say with the case of the mate, you punch the person's face, you have to run in that case, because when he regains consciousness, he's coming after you, and he really wants to hurt you totally. Okay, so with self-defense, anything you do to weaken the person, and then you run and move away from the scene. Okay, the next place is the truth. You can use this side of your hand, you stiffen it, and then to the truth. Yes, with the truth, you can even punch to the truth. That is, yes, good. You can use your elbow, yes, to the face. So these are places that are bony and they are very strong. And also have in mind that when you execute your defense, you are also going to feel pain. But at this point, you have to endure that pain, because you can't punch somebody and do like, oh, my arm. No. Yes, it's going to be painful. So you have to endure it. And anytime you defend yourself, you use all your energy at that point. Because when the person comes up, the person is coming up stronger. So use all the energy. If you are punching, punch harder. Okay, the next place is the solar plexus. A punch to the solar plexus. Yes, in between the breast. Yes, that place. That is the, yes, good. That's the solar plexus. Those are the places you have to target. In case somebody attacks you and you get the chance, you punch to the solar plexus very hard. The person can seize breath, and then you run away. Also, you can use your knee to kick the groin. Yes, you can use your knee to kick the groin. So somebody is...
Where is the groin? For people who may not know, what part of the body is the groin?
Yeah, I think the main sex organ, that area is the groin. Yes, please. So somebody is choking you at the wall, your legs are there. So you can kick the groin, the person destabilizes, you punch the person's face and run away. Good. You can also kick the person's knee. You kick the person's knee. So these are some of the places to look out for when you are defending yourself. You can punch to the ribs, this side, yes, left or right, yes. You can punch to the ribs. So one thing I would like us to learn right now is how to punch. Yes, it's very important. Most women like to punch like this. So you open your fingers. Yes, open your fingers and fold 1, 2, and then add this. Good. So this is a proper punch or a proper fist. Good. And then we punch with these 2 knuckles. Good. So when you have it this way, you punch straight with these 2 knuckles.
Okay.
So from here, pam. Good. So there's a turning effect. Good. Yes, that is a proper punch. So all punches should be with these 2 knuckles. Yes.
Okay.
Good. So you look out for the eyes, the nose, the throat, the solar plexus, the groin, and the knee.
Okay. Wow, these are very, very priceless skills that you are teaching us right now. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving us your time. Thank you to Farida for making this possible. This is such a valuable addition to the festival. We are so grateful. We have a few questions, but I'd first like to read a comment from an audience, a male audience on Instagram. And he is saying, I think one reason why men who do not engage in the abuse of women find it a little difficult immediately siding with female victims is because they judge all men by their personal values. They believe because they won't do that, others too are like them. But we have to come to the realization that some men are really abusive and must first protect the victim before trying to rationalize, if being rational is actually important, because we realize that many a times the men are actually guilty. And then we have a few questions. So there's one question that there was a question about how long it will take to be fully trained in the self-defense skill. So is there a number of days or months that you would fully become trained as a with the self-defense skills? I don't know if you can hear me, but can you hear me? Oh, I think Kezia is off again. There's something about this particular question. Anytime we ask the question, Kezia's internet fails us. And so I'm not going to ask the question again. We are going to ask her and then get her comments later after the whole discussion. But so far, it's been great. Thank you for your patience as Kezia's internet drops on and off. We are still waiting for her to join us because she's really giving us valuable advice here. So she's back and we can continue the conversation. I'll read a few comments. Okay, these are all questions. So Kezia is back. Can you hear me? You are muted, so you can unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so there's a question that anytime I ask you, your data goes off. So I'm not going to ask that question again. I'll send it to you via email and you respond, and then we can put it on our social media. But let me ask the other questions. So Janet is asking if all these defense skills that you're teaching us, can't they kill people, the men, especially the one with the throat? Are these attacks on the men that can actually kill them, or attacks on the people attacking the victim that can kill them, or they will survive and then the victim can run away?
Okay, so it depends how the attack goes. But remember, everybody that attacks you doesn't have a good intention. And if the person also get the chance, the person is going to kill you.
Yeah.
So you are defending yourself. In case that happens, it's unfortunate. We don't want that to happen. But in case it happens, it's not your fault. You are defending yourself. And a kick to the groin, depending on whoever can kill the person or cannot kill. Okay. But at that point, you are defending yourself and it happens. So you can't do anything about it.
So your comment leads me to a question that I've been wanting to ask for a while. So what if, in the case of defending oneself, the person attacking you dies or is severely injured? As someone who was defending yourself, do you face some police charges, or are you going to be charged by the law, maybe put in prison? if the person dies, could you face a life sentence for killing someone, although you are defending yourself?
Okay, I'm not so much into this legal stuff, but I'll share the little I know. Yes, and defending yourself, and when somebody dies, in the case of you defending as yourself, wouldn't you can still go to jail, but it won't be termed as a murder. And maybe if it's a murder, the person may go to jail, like let's say 10 years. But
Wow.
because it's self-defense, you may get like 2 years or 3.
Okay.
Yes, so it actually reduces your term in jail, but it doesn't prevent you from going to jail, because at the end, somebody is dead.
Wow, this is interesting. And I think this is a conversation we need to extend and get more legal advice on, because I'm defending myself. And if I didn't defend myself, I could have been raped or killed. And because I have certain skills, I've been able to help myself. Why should I go to prison? But we have Akuyo, who is a lawyer, and she has a law practitioner, and she has actually put a comment here to say self-defense is complete defense. And so maybe there are ways to, if you find yourself in court for defending yourself, you would go free. There are so many movies that have been played around this idea, and sometimes the person goes to jail, sometimes they don't. So we would definitely want to have more conversations on this. There's a question here, and the question is, are there other gadgets that can be used as a distraction or to call attention to help you get away from your attack?
Yeah, so you can use the whistle to, yes, you can shout for help. You can use a flashlight. Yes, so these are some basic stuff you can use to draw attention, because if you are at a dark place, you are being attacked and you are using flashlight, definitely somebody coming that direction knows something is happening there.
Okay, so I hope these are helpful. There's a question here. I heard yelling or screaming fire is better than shouting for help. So perhaps
yeah. People wouldn't like to risk themselves when they hear help, because they don't know actually what is happening to you. And yes, they can also come and get involved. But when you shout fire, fire, definitely everybody would like to put out fire or help to put out fire. So it's a good way. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And we have another comment here, and it says, okay, so I'll continue from her first comment. Self-defense is a complete defense. It is provocation that may result in having a charge of manslaughter. There's another comment here. I think the flashlight can also abstract the attacker if it is targeted at the eyes. Is this correct?
Yes, very true.
Okay. And there's another comment here. There's also a bracelet with very bad smell when you open it. Okay. Okay. So people are giving the tips they know. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. With all these that are coming in, there's a question here I would ask there's a question on Zoom, but I want to ask, with all these things, so I have to have a key, I have to have a whistle, I have to have all these tools. But in the process of being attacked, like the lady who shared her story about the driver just randomly smacking her butt, she was stunned. Sometimes when you are being attacked, the first thing is fear, and sometimes you go silent. So is there a training that you also take your people through to help them control their fear and actually be more alert to defend themselves?
Okay, yes, exactly. With self-defense training, which is martial art training, you learn to discipline, and then be fast to your reflexes. We train for your reflexes to be sharp. You can and then how to use your senses, that is your eyes and your sense of smell and everything. So we train all that because we have kind of training that maybe you see somebody's hand coming, you quickly do a block. Yes, so with the self-defense training or martial arts training, especially with Taekwondo, we work with reflexes and all that. So there are trainings for that.
Okay, thank you so much. But is there any tip that you can give, like for the people here at least, is there any tip on how to stay calm in the face of danger?
Yes, so the tips that I can give is what I've spoken about, like the punch to the face, to the throat, to the solar plexus. Any other one, I need someone to demonstrate that with, which I don't have here. So, but remember the groin, the solar plexus, the face, and the eyes. You can punch to those places and kick to those places, and the person will be distracted and you can run away.
Okay. So there's another question, and the question, very important question, is what if your attacker has a gun? How do you defend yourself?
Okay, so with self-defense, it's sorry to say, it's not magic. It's like a luck. You work it out, and then if it works, that's fine. But the first thing you do when somebody have a gun is you don't run straight. If you are running away from such person, you don't run straight. You run in a zigzag form.
Yeah.
So you keep running in a zigzag form, yes. And somebody with a gun, you don't rush with that person. You don't try that at all because the person is now having a weapon. So you have to be totally calm. When you get your chance, you execute your defense, which is a kick to the groin that would destabilize the person and might leave the gun. So somebody with a weapon, you have to be calm, total calm. And then when the chance comes for you to defend yourself, you just do it. And that is when you do it with all your strength. Because when the person comes up, the person have a weapon. So the person is coming harder at you. So with people having weapons, you have to be totally calm. And then when you get your chance, you execute your defense.
Okay, thank you so much for everything that you've said so far. I think your advice on the gun issue is really valid. Can you tell us why it is important to run in a zigzag manner rather than running straight if someone has a gun? Okay, I think that we have, I don't know if you can hear me, Kezia, because I see that you are still there, or perhaps the internet once again has cut you off. Okay, so I think Kezia has dropped off again. So we'll just, when she comes back, we'll have our last few minutes with her and then we can call it an end. But this has been such an amazing conversation and so much has been learned. If you have any comments, please feel this is a good time to leave them and we can continue our conversation while we wait for Kezia. So I see a message here. Sabina says, I think, okay, no, Sabina is saying awesome. I guess it's a reaction to the whole conversation. So we'll just wait a bit for Kezia to rejoin us. And if you have joined us on Instagram, thank you. On Facebook, thank you. And for those who are joining us on Zoom as well, thank you so much. This is the third day of WomanFest Ghana, a week-long festival which is dedicated to changing the narratives around women in Ghana. So we are bringing women together to share their perspectives and give tips where necessary so that the younger generation of women can forge ahead in more confidence to do anything that they set their mind to do. And tomorrow and Saturday, we have a mix of virtual and physical events. In fact, tomorrow we open our exhibition, and this was done by Kukwa the artist. She'll be here at 4 p.m. So please come around to hear and see the works that she has curated, especially for WomanFest Ghana 2021. So Kezia is joining us, and then we can ask the question and wrap up for tonight. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. So let me just go straight into asking the question I was asking. The question was, what was the question actually?
Asking why is it important to run in a zigzag?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So why is it important to run in a zigzag instead of a straight line when someone has a gun?
Okay, so with a straight line, a bullet moves in a straight line. So you moving zigzag distracts the person from shooting because he doesn't know which direction to shoot, because this moment you are here, the other moment you are there. So basically that's the main reason.
Thank you so much. I don't know if anyone has a question to ask Kezia. We are about to end tonight's session. So if you have any questions or comments for Kezia, please let us know. But while we wait for our audience to bring up their questions, how does anyone get in touch with you if they're interested in learning self-defense or even learning Taekwondo, taking it up to Taekwondo? How do we get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can contact me on my Instagram page, KZ_K, or any of the social media, I think Facebook, and then maybe if I can put my contacts out in case somebody would want to, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take your contact and then we'll also share it on our social media platforms for anyone interested. And for people who are busy, because people have busy schedules, so maybe someone has a 9 to 5, or during the weekends we have all these family and social activities. So can you give us an idea of the times in which are you flexible to train, or you have like set times only?
I'm flexible. Yes, so I can book you. We can try to find a way out. Yes.
Okay, this is very important. So, Kezia, while I wait for a question or two, I really want to ask you've already mentioned why it is important for young women to have self-defense skills, but I really want you to touch on the point on the confidence level. So what does having self-defense do to a woman's mind, and why does it boost our confidence?
Okay, so with the confidence level, imagine you can kick very well, and then you can punch very well. You feel free to move around because anything that happens, you can at least punch somebody or you can kick somebody. So you training all the time, you feel strong, and you feeling strong, you have you trust your legs and your arms. Yes, I trained very well, I am strong. So anytime, anywhere, I can defend myself. So that is how it boosts your confidence level. But if you don't train, you'll be like, oh, if I punch, I may even break my arm if the person, you understand that? Yes. So if you train, you get this confidence. You trust your legs, you trust your arms, you trust your body. So you can do anything at any time. So that's how it boosts your confidence level.
And how soon can a young girl start learning these self-defense skills? At what age do you think is appropriate for anyone to start learning these skills?
Okay, so far as the person is active and can talk and understand, yes, my youngest student is 2 years. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, as low as 2 years, and it's a girl. So they can kick and punch. So far as the person is active, the person is good to go.
And do you think that self-defense skills should be added to the educational curriculum?
Yes, it should. And because that is where it can change the mentality of our parents. You know, when something is part of the school, they accept it. But if they have to do it as something extra, they feel it's not right. Ladies are not supposed to do it. So it's very good to add it to the school curriculum.
Thank you so much, Kezia. In the absence of no comments and questions, maybe I'll try my luck and ask the question that always freezes your network. So the question was, are you there? The question was, how long does it take for someone to learn these skills? So is there a period in which someone would have to wait before they are fully qualified to execute all these self-defense skills?
Okay, so it depends on how fast. It depends on how fast and the person pick up stuff. Yes, but within 2 years or 1.5 years, depending on how fast you pick up stuff, you should be ready, and how consistent you train, you should be ready to, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, okay, 1 or 2 years. Time goes fast. So I believe that as you learn, the time moves faster and you are able to defend yourself. And also your point on the confidence. I think from day one, when you start learning these self-defense skills, you feel more confident in going out there and, feeling free as a lady, exploring her environment or being where she wants to be. So even though it may take this long to be fully skilled, when you start the classes, the confidence alone gives you a booster. And we always hear sometimes the men who say, this lady, she's unapproachable. And I think it has something to do with how confident a woman is sometimes. And so I just wanted to put that comment there. I want to say thank you so much. Say thank you so much for your time. It's been a very amazing conversation. We've learned so much from you. We've had so many questions and interactions. And is there anything you would like to add before we close for tonight?
Okay, thank you very much and thank you to Farida for giving me this opportunity to educate or share my experience with my fellow women. But one thing I would like to advise them is workout should be part of us. Working out or training should be part of our daily activities. You should go for a walk, you should go for a run. If you have time, register in the gym. It's very, very, very important, because those are the things that will boost your confidence level, make you flexible, and keep you calm to execute anything you want to do. So as ladies or as women, especially Ghanaian women or African women, we should make working out our habit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kezia. This has been so great. And for everyone who joined us, thank you for sticking and staying with us, even though we had a few hitches here and there. I hope that this session has been helpful to us all. We will definitely have Kezia join us, have the boring talkative join us next year at WomanFest physically, so that we can learn some Taekwondo, physically. That would be great. And I also want to say once again, thank you to Farida Yusuf for hitting me up and saying that it is important we have this conversation. And it didn't cross our minds, and it's been one of the most valuable conversations we've had. So thank you, Farida. She couldn't join us today because of time difference, but we really appreciate the effort you put into making this possible. So guys, join us tomorrow at the Library of Africa and the African Diaspora, 4 p.m. for our opening exhibition. Yes. And we have some film screenings as well. On Saturday, we have a workshop on we have a workshop on writing for healing. So as we are learning the self-defense, we are also learning how to heal emotionally and keep a balance. Our chakra, that's a word I learned from a friend of mine. So how to keep our chakra in check and balanced. You can come and experience that workshop. And we have so many other amazing talks as well. So see you over the weekend and have a great night. And my name is Elizabeth Johnson, and this has been the Self-Defense Conversation with Kezia. Goodbye, everyone.